Are you looking for a way to scale your short-term rental business and buy more properties? Well, co-hosting might be the right fit for you. Welcome to the Cohost Coach podcast with Joe Roney. This episode of the Cohost Coach is brought to you by Savvy STR Agents. If you're looking to buy a short-term rental, then contact the STR Savvy Agent team at savvy.realty.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Co-Host Coach. I am Joe Roney, and I am honored to have my first in-person guest, friend, mentor, and one of my favorite podcasts that I listen to, which is Inner Wealth Global. Mike Kitko, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Joe. And I literally just found out about 30 seconds ago that I was your first live guest.
Yes.
So it's like a complete honor and a privilege, man. Thanks for having me. Thanks for choosing me to be here.
Yeah. I mean, I have learned so much over the past year listening to your podcast, and I actually found your podcast through Adam McChesney, which is how I found this podcast studio. Yeah. And went to his live event in St. Louis last year, which is the first time I met you in that Cardinal game.
Yeah, and I remember being in the box, right? Yeah,
yes.
We had a conversation in the box, and that's what my wife Angie is right there, so I'm pointing.
Yep.
But when we started talking about you and how we connected, that was my first memory of you is in that Cardinals box and enjoying that game. It was an awesome night, awesome time.
Yep. I mean, it's kind of weird in all of this business how, people come together and you have no idea. We actually went to the same, the Buyers Club, probably were in the same room 10, maybe a dozen times, maybe 100 times.
Maybe years,
and
right?
we never met each other there.
Yeah.
And then, we go to an event and, people from all over the country came to that event, and that's how we kind of hooked up. So,
well, bro, it's good to be connected, and we're shoulder to shoulder now. So it's just good to be allies together.
Yeah. So, for those out listening, I mean, one of the reasons why I wanted to have Mike on today is that Mike has a really amazing podcast and a new book that came out that really speaks about mindset. And I talk to everybody about mindset and how to really grow in this business space. And it's more than just putting in hard work and just, the hustle and the daily grind. And that's one of the things that I think I've learned from your podcast is it's not always about that. That's not everything you have to do to be successful in business. And some of it is putting yourself in the room with people, and some of it is mindset. But really just want to kind of hear your thoughts on kind of how you got into the space and the mindset game, because your background is not in entrepreneurship at all.
Something completely different. I'm a recovered Fortune 500 executive. So I had a long run in corporate. I'm a Marine vet as well. So I spent 5 years in the Marine Corps, really got a taste of leadership.
I appreciate your service. Thank you very much.
Marine Corps did a lot for me, more for me than I did for it. How about that?
Yeah.
But it got the taste of leadership. Got the taste of inspiring, motivating, training, people, Marines. And then when I came out of corporate, I went back to being an hourly employee and went back to, being an individual contributor. But I kept getting promoted and I kept getting, I ascended the ladder really quickly. It's just Marine Corps builds something in you that, it's a certain, just drive and a certain, anyway, ambition and motivation and strength and courage. But I started ascending the ladder, corporate ladder. And before you knew it, I was, a plant manager of a $65 million manufacturing plant. And then I assumed responsibility for a $250 million, $350 million manufacturing plant. And I just kept ascending, and I really didn't enjoy any of my corporate gigs. I just kept doing it. We were chasing paychecks, we were chasing titles, chasing authority, chasing responsibility, trying to feel important, trying to feel significant, and just saying yes to the next position, even though I hated all of it, right?
Yep.
But eventually in 2015, I got fired from a corporate job. And then in 2016, I got fired from another one because I was 300 pounds. I was over drinking. My wife was in active addiction. We were absolutely toxic. We hated our life. We did we worked so that we could go on long vacations because that was the escape. That was the only way to escape the torture that was our life.
Yep.
And that second time, I knew something had to change. I put a barrel of a gun in my mouth. When I pulled it back out, I said, okay, I didn't even have the courage to pull the trigger. But the point is if everything, who I am and what I know and what I believe and what I've chosen has gotten me here, obviously there's a lot of damage, and I got some cleanup to do.
Yeah.
So I decided to clean up my life. My wife joined me in, I filed for divorce because she didn't go willingly. But then when she started cleaning up her life, we started rebuilding our lives. And one of the first things we did was get really clear about the life that we wanted to live. And I didn't want a job anymore. I wanted to build a business. I wanted to lead, own, operate a business, but I wanted to build a business that allowed me to travel, that allowed us to travel, that I could operate from anywhere in the world, that was remote, that would just give us an opportunity to really have freedom.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. We built it. And the mindset piece, and I want to go deeper, I like to call it heart set. It's really what's happening in your body and in your whole nervous system. But the mindset piece was shifting from it's impossible, I can't do that, I'm a corporate guy, to a brand new identity, is that I can build this business and I'm talented. I had to find my talent. I had to find my value. I had to find my significance, because those things were elusive. And, and I didn't believe in myself. And I rebuilt that. I rebuilt that belief in myself, and we get to live a free life now where we spend a lot of time together and we own our own time.
And it's amazing. Like it's an inspirational story, because I tell people all the time, if you're stuck, if you're in that 9 to 5, or if you're in the position that you were in, I was in the same thing. I was actually 10-year corporate retail. I was a district manager for Sears. I was traveling all over. I was completely missing my kids' lives, right? Yeah. I was gone 3 weeks a month and missing out. They were 5 and 8 years old. And, God had a different plan for me. We had an accident in the family, which is what caused me to say, okay, time out, I got to change this. But you found your way and another way and changed your life, because no matter what your age is, your life plan isn't written today. You can change it.
You're one decision away, one choice away from creating a completely new life.
Yep, and there's no age factor.
No,
you and I are fairly similar in age, but you were well into your career. I was well into my career when we made major changes to our life. And most people could sit back and say, how could you do that? Like, you had a multi-6-figure job. How did you say, I'm just going to start something from scratch, brand new? So, what was the mindset like for that?
I remember being in one of my jobs, and this was probably my favorite job, that I had. And I remember, and I was a plant manager, and I was walking down the aisle, and I remember thinking, I would love to own my own business and work from home. And that was a fleeting thought. Yep. And the mindset was going back to, what do I really want in life? And I'd never really asked myself that question before. What do I really want? Not what am I settling for? Not what's showing up for me. What do I really want? Yep. And there's, one of the number one reasons people don't have what they want is because they don't know what they want, because they just, they let life come at them and they don't really try to influence life, right? Yep. Not control life. We can't control life, but we can influence the energy and the direction of life. But the mindset was putting myself, like getting clear. And Angie and I went to a vision workshop for a weekend, and we just for 3 days we just sat with this dream. What do we want to do? If we could choose, if we could wipe it all away and rebuild, what would we want to do? And I wanted to wake up when I wanted to wake up and go to sleep when I wanted to go to sleep. And the big mindset shift is flipping the switch from impossible to probable. That other people can live that. Other people are living that. Why not me? I felt broken early, through this transformation. I felt broken, and that was the mindset. It was the healing. It was the letting old beliefs go, letting old stories go, letting this old identity that was locked inside. And I like to say inside my nervous system, because that's where our stories and that's where our beliefs live. Yep. There was this identity locked inside of me that was a complete lie. And it was that I had no value. I wasn't talented. I wasn't worthy. And when I flipped all of those and started finding my value, worth, and finding a new identity, then life unfolded in a miraculous way, because life meets us where our energy is, right? Life responds to our energy. If we don't believe in ourselves, things will show up that prove that we shouldn't believe in ourselves. But if we do believe in ourselves, life will meet us there.
Yep. And the other part of your story that I love is that you guys did do this together, right? Yeah. I know there was, obviously when you go through hard times, every single relationship out there, every marriage has had their ups and their downs, but you found a way to say, you know what, we want to do this together. And you guys are inseparable. I love that, because my wife and I are the same way. We never do things when we have to do something that's part. It's like, man, why do I have to leave you for a couple of days? Can you just come with me?
Well, days, we're talking hours.
Yes.
So So there, maybe you could hear Angie laughing in the background because we spend all day together.
Yes.
And there's times where she'll arrange a little coffee excursion with one of her friends. And on the way out, she's like, I don't want to go. Like, I want to stay here with you. It's like,
Yes.
that was just going to be a couple hours because we are best friends.
Yep.
Like, we actually enjoy life and doing life. And Angie says it's probably like bordering on unhealthy codependence at this point. But it's not. It's just that's my best friend and I really enjoy her. But man, we had to go through some shit to get there. And we really had to go through a lot of pain. We had infidelity in our marriage and we had abuse, physical, mental, emotional, sometimes sexual abuse. We had a lot to clean up. We were both in addiction. We had a lot to clean up. So we had to go to our neutral corners, clean it up, and then come out and refine what our relationship was about. And because we just settled for whatever showed up and instead of intentionally creating something that we get to live, we get to wake up to every day.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think a couple things. One of my favorite quotes is if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
You're right.
Right.
Absolutely.
And it's kind of what you were just kind of talking about. You got to believe in yourself. You got to go after it. But kind of shifting gears to that your relationship together. I know a couple weeks ago you were actually on a business trip for over a day or 2 days without Angie. I mean, was that a longer period of time than it's been in a while?
Yeah, in one of we love New Orleans, and I went down to New Orleans, and she stayed home because we were getting ready to travel together a couple days later. She's like, I'm just going to jump down there. But I mean, I didn't want to be down there without her. Yeah. I want her by my side all the time, and this isn't just a marriage where we're together because we're lonely.
Yes. This
is a relationship where we are actually each other's best friend.
Yep.
And it's very rare. It's very rare. And we hear a lot of people talking about, how much of I'm trying to think of the right word. How much of a knucklehead, that's a softer word, how much of a knucklehead their spouse is, or how, there's none of that with us.
Yeah.
There's no bitching, there's no complaining, there's no anger, there's nothing. We don't try to control each other. Like I get to live my life and I get to make my choices. She gets to do the same. And then it's like 1 + 1 = 3. There's 3 lives. There's Mike's life, there's Angie's life, and then there's our life together.
Yes.
But we each get to like still be authentic, and we get to be independent and unique in our own way and come together like that. But we're whole and complete. We're not trying to fill anything up with each other's energy.
Yep. So you wrote a book recently, and I'll be honest, it's probably in my top 3 of all time favorite books. And it was it's a quick read. It's not it's not a read that you're gonna have to go spend weeks reading this book.
Yeah.
It's not a long book. Highly recommend. By the way, I need you to do an audible version of it, and you need to narrate it. And I'm dead serious about that. You need to narrate the audible version because it would crush it, for one, because it would crush the message that you're sending in this book. But one of the things I love about the book is it obviously talks about mindset, but it also talks about whole body, spirituality, all of it, right?
All of it.
So, how does that in your daily life, what are some of the things that you do to be able to pull all that together?
Yeah, focus on all of it, right? And I mean, at any given time, you're not focused on all of it, but it's get clear about what you want in each area of life, right? And like when I neglected myself, when my health wasn't an important priority, that's why it fell apart. That's why I was 300 pounds, and that's why I was completely neglectful. But I was focused on business, and I was focused on money, and that was the only priority I had. And there was no happiness in our relationship. There was no happiness in my body, right? Yep. My body wasn't a very happy camper with me. There was no spirituality. It was like everything else was lacking. I was just focused on money. And that's why at the beginning of the book, I said, have you ever noticed how many people, they spend their whole life and their whole focus and their ambition is money, and it's like they think that getting more money is going to solve every other problem. Money can solve a lot of problems, but money can't solve you when you're miserable inside and when you hate yourself, and that's why the number I call them the 7 vital resources. The first vital resource is self-love and authenticity. Yeah, that one's got to go first, right?
Yeah.
And when we crank that up, all the rest of them seem to come in line pretty easily. But there's a lot of people walking around that hate themselves, and they're trying to fill that up with money. But it's getting intentional about what, again, a vision, creating a vision for your life and setting an intention for each area of life, what you want it to look like, and then every day working towards it.
Yeah, yeah. But the other quote, and I have this in my office, it's actually probably my favorite quote, is if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life, right? And you spent many years in a job that you hated. I spent many years in a job that I hated. There are many people in my industry and a lot of people that are getting into what I do and co-hosting, which is what this podcast is all about. They're doing it to get out of that 9-to-5. I've helped half a dozen people in the last 2 years leave their 9-to-5 to go into this business full time, and now they're doing what they love and they're doing something that they enjoy. But you have to love what you're doing every day, and that starts with loving yourself, right? I mean, because if you don't love yourself when you wake up every single day, how are you going to love what you're doing? Because you're starting your day off miserable.
Absolutely. And again, I mean, I was conditioned by people that didn't love themselves to not love myself. So we tend to pass this on to our children too. Yeah, our kids will feel if we value ourselves. They will feel it. They will learn from it, and they will adopt that. So it's paramount that we find the love that we have for ourselves. We understand our own design. We understand our own purpose, and that's what you're talking about, right? When you love what you do, if you feel purposeful, you'll feel useful. You feel like an asset in life. Yep. And instead of just chasing money, you're chasing to make an impact and to do something significant that helps other people, that helps society, that lifts them up. But you can't do that if you don't really value yourself. Yeah. Right? We got to value ourselves. We got to raise our level of significance as the most significant person on the face of the planet, just like everybody else. Yeah. Just like everybody else. And this isn't putting yourself above anybody else. This is elevating your level of significance to the highest level, just like everybody else, and staying there. And when you raise your identity to that level of significance, life meets you there. Life meets you there. Life will meet you wherever you are, wherever your energy is. It's up to you just to raise that and constantly elevate that level of identity and significance.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I 100% agree. I mean, and it's probably been one of the biggest things. And after reading your book, one of the things I started, because I wanted to get myself body, mind, everything else, started a 75 hard 13 days ago.
Good for you.
And it'll be the first time I've gone 75 days without alcohol since I was probably 16 years old. Nice, right. Man. And it's hopefully leading to a life of not having that as something as a crutch. Am I going to say I'm never going to have another drink again? I'm not saying that today.
Yeah. No commitments.
But it doesn't need to be a crutch. And there's so many people that have that crutch, whether it be an alcohol or a drug addiction or could just be vaping or whatever it is. But there's those bad habits. And it, again, starts with that mind and body. So.
An escape mechanism.
Yep.
When used, alcohol as a place, Angie and I we love sitting down, having a beer together. We sit next to on a bar stool. We enjoy that. Yep. But if we're using that as an escape, yes, that is what we need to resolve. But if we're just using it, if we're just having a beer because we love the social aspect, or we love hanging out, or we love connecting, or we just love the taste of beer. Yeah. If we're just enjoying the fruits of the earth, that's one thing. But but the need to escape, that's a whole different pain point.
Yep. So I want to kind of shift gears because you coach a lot of really great business people, right? Mm-hmm. So, one of your biggest business obviously is your coaching program, your mastermind, and the type of people that you are working with on a daily basis. So kind of, what does a coaching session kind of look like? And what are some things that you kind of help with, because these people that are in business that I know with you are a much higher, money level than us. That doesn't mean they're better people or anything, but they're very, very successful people. But yet they come to they're coming to someone like you because you're helping them elevate. And
Absolutely.
Is it mostly mindset, or is it what kind of coaching does it look like?
It's all of it, Joe. It's all of it. And first of all, I have private clients and I have a mastermind. And the mastermind is really more spiritually oriented. It's more about helping them understand what they want in their life, their vision, helping them get clear about this, and helping them, create a higher level life, right? Yep. So we meet regularly. We have a business call. We have a book study. We have a mindset call, a men's call, women's call. So it's a whole community that just connects and does life together. Yeah. So that's one thing. In my private coaching, this is where I'm working with people that are we're operating at an accelerated level. They've got some money, but they're trying to enjoy life as much as the money they have. Yeah. Right. So it's like a typical session is really just like, I'll say one of my longest standing. I know every single thing about this guy.
Yep.
I know the quality of his marriage. I know the quality of his sex life. I know how much money he has. I know the business. I know the leaders that he has in the business. I know everything, just about everything about this guy's life. And there's nothing he can't share with me that he's struggling through or that he needs some help kind of like polishing off the rough edges or sanding off the rough edges, right? But I check in with him. Hey, how is this? How is this? What do you think about this, right? How is this? How's this operating? What's working? What's not working? And just going all life all the time with him. It's not just about business.
Yep.
It's so much more about that because I had a successful career in corporate, and then when I walked through the door at home, it was a complete war zone.
Yep.
And I know in my corporate career, if we would have had the home more peaceful and more supportive, I would have crushed corporate even like exponentially more than I did.
Yeah.
Because you can't fight a war on two fronts. That's what we're really working through. But it's any pain point that comes up, any internal pressure, any fear, any worry, any doubt, anything, any problem solving. It's just unpacking it. And I work with these people. Typically, when they start working with me one-on-one, they're with me for years.
Yeah.
And I've got somebody that I've been working with for 6 years, like a one-on-one client. And I know it all. And I've helped this person through so many seasons and just continuing to unpack.
Yep. You have your own mastermind, but I know you're in other masterminds. Builders of Authority is one of them. One of my favorite podcasts, and I told you this a couple weeks ago when I saw you at the Buyers Club, that you ever did was talking about how you have to buy your friends.
Yeah.
Right. And it was a podcast that really hit home to me because when I got into my business, I wanted to accelerate much quicker. And I paid $6,500 in a program for my mentor at the time to join his program. And it was the best decision I ever made in my life and I did it with intention, right? I tell people when they join masterminds, you have to do it with intention. Don't just pay money to be in a group. If you're going through the motions, it's not worth it, right?
Sure.
Pay your money with intention to know what do you want to get out of this mastermind, right? Mm-hmm. What is your end game here? What are they going to help you with, and how are you going to use this? And that's kind of what I took from your podcast when you're paying to be in the room with people that are going to help you grow.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can't just walk into a billionaire's office and say, show me how you became a billionaire. But you could join the same mastermind as him, become friends, end up having drinks at a bar, and all of a sudden you become best friends because you both paid to be in the same space. And that's how people in business are actually elevating even more.
In the right room.
Yes.
Pay to be in the right rooms.
Yes.
With the right people that will support you. And I like to call them allies, right?
Yes.
You're buying friends, and that's a cheeky way to say you're buying some allies. You're buying somebody who's going to have your back and it's going to help elevate your life, right? Angie and I have been in a mastermind where we were in for a long time. And we were in a mastermind where we were in it for a very short time because it just wasn't right for us.
Yeah.
We opted in. We paid a lot of money to get in. And then, there was an anchor fee up front.
Mm-hmm.
And when we joined the mastermind, we realized these weren't our people.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel right. We weren't excited for it. We weren't fulfilled. And we got the hell out of the room because that's not the energy we wanted to be around. And we're always looking for those people that are headed. Fortunately, we built the mastermind we wanted to be part of, that we've always looked for, but we're always on the lookout for, is there a mastermind that's going to serve us the way we serve our people?
Yeah.
And when we find it, we opt in because those are our people. Why wouldn't we want to surround ourselves with people that are supportive and encouraging and inspiring and loving and share their resources and share their networks and all? Why wouldn't we want to be around that?
Yeah. I agree. I mean, and it's like I said, it's propelled my business. It's the best money I've ever spent in my life is to pay to be in the room with somebody that has already been there and is there to support me. And it's not, when I message this person, it's not some VA responding to me or some assistant or whatever. It's that person, right? So when I'm having that one-on-one with that person in that mastermind or whatever it may be, I'm in the room with that person, and that person the same as you care. Like, the thing that I love about you is you can truly see how much you care about the people that you're helping.
I absolutely do. I absolutely do.
I have no doubt that you think about them,
a lot.
Going to bed, waking up in the morning, even when you're on your workout, you're like, all right, this person's got this person going on, and how can I help them here? I mean, I can only imagine your mind is a mile a minute.
I feel like I'm living 50 lives.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes it gets a little heavy. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
But it's not that I feel responsible, but we fall in love with these people in our mastermind because we spend so much time with them, and we get to know them at such a deep level that we literally fall in love with them, and they feel like family, and you care about them, and you want to see them prosper. And sometimes when they're going through some shit, it's like, okay, what can I do? What can I do? What am I not doing? Is there more value I can provide? Can I give them a solution? Can I connect them with somebody? It's like my mind goes to helping them solve their problem because I care about them. They're not just a transaction in my mastermind, they're family. And that's what it feels like. That's what we built. And that's what we're always on the lookout for, people that want to bond and connect. Like when we go, we have our retreats twice a year. We go to, we take the Inner Wealth Mastermind to different places, and we get a large house. Angie does a great job planning. We get a large house, and we all commune together for a couple days, and we have a lot of fun, man. Oh yeah, we have a lot of fun. We do a lot of work when we're in session, but outside of session, we crank it up. We have a lot of fun together, and there's freaking Anyway, laughs and dancing and people wrestling and just all kind of stuff. It's just a lot of fun. It's just people that actually love being together. Yep.
I've been at a few masterminds, and those in-person events, in my opinion, are by far the most important of a mastermind because that's where you're really connecting. It's one thing to be on a Zoom call and meet people and talk to them and all that stuff. And it's great. It's great for everything. Yeah. But man, those in-person events, if you're in a mastermind that has those in-person events, that's where life-changing moments happen.
For sure. And the community aspect of our in-person retreats, it is the most powerful element of the mastermind. But I lead energy work. I lead meditation. I lead somatic work, right? Somatic soma is the Greek word for body. So I lead them into their body to start excavating some of the garbage that's in there, some of the doubt, some of the fear, some of the nervous system freaking noise that's in there that's keeping them from enjoying their life. I lead them through exercises so they leave a different person than they walk in. And that is the power of my work with them, not just the mindset stuff, but helping them get into their body and rearrange energy and rearrange beliefs and rearrange identity and elevating their self-concept in real time, in a real live event. That's where that magic happens.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I agree. I mean, it's, because you get that one-on-one. Sure. I mean, that's, the in-person is everything. So you have a event coming up in St. Louis, which I think when this airs is going to be about a week and a half before that event comes up. So tell me about this in-person event that you're doing and what it's all about.
It's open to the public. It's November 14th and 15th. And it's kind of like our mastermind retreat, but open for the public to come and experience the work. I lead meditation. It's 2 powerful days. I lead meditation, lead some energy work. I set the anchor and set the foundation for the work that we do in the Inner Wealth Mastermind. And I let them know right up front, listen, what I want is I'm looking for new Inner Wealth Mastermind students. So I'm not going to surprise you at the end with a pitch. I'm telling you, I'm going to pitch you the whole time. Yeah. If I want you in my family, I want to tell you. I'm going to let you know. But we set the foundation and we do the work in the. It's called the Choose Your Destiny Live Intensive. We do the work, and I teach and I inspire and help them understand what they're really after, because most people don't know what they want. And I help them. That's where the beginning of that starts. What do you really want in your life, and help them get a vision for their life, but help them understand the work that'll rearrange the energy inside of them so that becomes a reality, a new reality. So November 14th and 15th, 2 days right outside of St. Louis, Missouri, in where we live, St. Charles, Missouri. Great event. Some of my Inner Wealth Mastermind students will be there, but that's where we start building community with the right people.
That's awesome. I'm excited for it. My wife and I are planning to attend. We're working on logistics on our schedule because we're supposed to be setting up a new house in Panama City Beach that week, but I think we're actually going to fly in for that and then fly back down to keep working on it is what we're, because it's something that I really want. It's something that I really want to do, and if it's important to me, so we are working everything we can to logistically make it happen because, we talked about it a while ago, so it's definitely something we want. So kind of parting words for, a lot of people that are in my space. They're some of them are just getting started, or they're in a business that is consuming them. Right? They are just, they're hustling, they're grinding. Like, what are some things that they could do today to kind of slow down and see bigger picture?
One of my favorite quotes is, if you're not having fun, you're doing it all wrong. Yep. The concept that I want to anchor is, at some point you're going to die, and everybody you love is going to die. Anything you build is gonna diminish. It's gonna perish.
Yep.
Anything you accumulate is gonna fall apart. Just make sure you're not suffering through life for stuff to build and stack and whatever, something that eventually is just not gonna matter. Make sure you're enjoying and reaping the harvest of the moment instead of just waiting to enjoy life after you get somewhere. Right? The fear that's inside of you, like a lot of people that I start working with, they have money fear, and money fear will not be resolved with more money.
No.
It'll just turn from, I don't have enough, to, oh my God, what happens if I lose it? That fear just changes its voice, changes its tone.
Yeah.
So it's work on those things right now. Work on the inner game. And that's why the new book is called Inner World, Outer World. Work on the inner game just as much as you're working on the external game, because things outside of you will not rearrange the energy and the beliefs and the identity and the pain and the suffering that's going on inside. And ultimately, most people on this planet are looking to solve their internal conflicts through external rewards. Do both.
Yep.
Go build a life that's awesome, like with your circumstances, but also let's start cleaning out the nonsense and the mess inside that's got you in the chase, and building stuff that's anchoring your life instead of elevating your life.
Yep. I think that starts with the dopamine. Everyone's chasing that dopamine high.
That's it. Yeah.
And instead of building who they want to be and being that person, they're always, can I get a post to get more likes? Can I get, how many comments can I get? Can I, all this stuff in this, hustle and bustle world, like I want people to see, but if you're happy with what you're doing, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks.
There's four voices that I like to talk about that are happening in somebody. And sometimes it's one voice showing up, sometimes it's multiple. But the voices, there's 3 voices of survival mode and 1 voice of creation mode. And the 3 voices of survival mode are insecurity, inadequacy, and insignificance. Fear of loss, trying to prove yourself to somebody or trying to become somebody and trying to feel valuable. Yeah. Those are all the voices of survival mode. And those won't fulfill you. Yep. There's nothing that'll solve those voices if they're anchored inside of you. But that voice of creation mode, that inspiration, right? Insecurity, inadequacy, and significance. The only voice of creation mode is inspiration. It's the one that I get to, not that I have to. If it feels like something you have to do, you're living from survival mode, and we can flip that switch anytime by getting clear about what your design and your purpose is in this world, instead of just trying to resolve these internal conflicts through external circumstances.
Man, this was probably the most powerful 30 to 40 minutes of the podcast that I've had in over a year. I mean, it's, so many nuggets, so many things that you just talked about today. Super excited for my listeners to hear it, because it truly does open up a whole different world when you can shift and when you can actually do that. So I really appreciate you coming on and chatting with us today and coming to my studio. So it's been an honor, and want everyone to know. So on the show notes, we're going to have a link to your book on Amazon. So make sure that you guys check the show notes for that, as well as the in-person event, to sign up for that. So if you're interested, or you're near St. Louis, or you want to come travel in and hang with me for the weekend, I got extra rooms at the house if you need somewhere to stay. So if you want to come to that conference for that weekend, definitely hook me up. So
awesome. And the website, innerwealthglobal.com. And I also have a podcast, the Inner Wealth Podcast. So those are all ways to connect and hear my voice a little more.
Yep, and it really is, and I love it when Mike does his podcast. He just jams, it's similar to how I do it. There is no script. There is no. We didn't discuss one thing about what we were going to talk about today. It's just see where the conversation goes, jam, whatever you're feeling for the moment, and I appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, Joe. I really appreciate it. It's been an honor, man.
Awesome. Till next time, guys, thank you so much for joining me on the Cohost Coach. Next week, I got E. Pani. It's going to be another mindset conversation, but in the STR space, because he is one of the best coaches in our industry, part of the Short-Term Secrets Mastermind, which I am a part of. And make sure you tune in next week. So thanks again.